wait, if we're following standard nomenclature, shouldn't this be PICROSS 2E, as in PICROSS 5.43656? Little math joke for you there. I figure if you can't make a joke about the number E in the context of PICROSS, a hardcore celebration of logic that results in pictures, then where can you? It's a bit high grade for Donkey Kong Jr. math, I grant you that. But if you're wondering why there's even more PICROSS on the back of PICROSS E, and I mean these two releases were spaced just over a month apart, it's because there's always more PICROSS to be had. And this one actually brings an innovation to the table, along with, more puzzles to attempt to satisfy your addiction. As if a PICROSS addiction could ever be satisfied, though. So aside from 5 particular puzzles, the concept is much the same as it's ever been. Use the data provided along the top and left of this grid to determine which squares get filled and which remain blank, and then use that data to inform even more determinations, ultimately culminating in a hairbrush or something. That much we know, that much we're familiar with. That much hasn't really changed since Mario's PICROSS, and certainly not since PICROSS E1. But remember those 5 puzzles I mentioned earlier? Well, they're a bit bigger, kinda. E2 introduces a new set of challenges named Micross, where a huge 80 by 80 masterpiece is created by first solving an 8 by 8 puzzle for the rough outline, and then diving into each of those squares to provide more detail. So it's not really an 80 by 80 puzzle, which would have so much ambiguity it'd probably take a month and a half to finish. It's really just up to 64 nested 10 by 10 puzzles which come together and bam! Da Vinci in PICROSS form. And you thought you were just gonna get a Pikachu or something. Sure, some of these smaller puzzles may be brain-numbingly easy around the edges, but there's some decent challenge to be had with a more abstract form rather than something you could potentially guess at. So if we extrapolate out the math, that's 64 sub-puzzles times 5 Micross puzzles, plus the usual easy and normal and free modes that carry over from the first version with about 60 puzzles each. Alright, I'm tired of the math already. Point is, you probably already know if you're going to buy this, and that's largely determined by whether or not you're obsessed with obtaining all the PICROSS you can. And that's got to be a fair chunk of the 3DS owning population, else why would they be publishing these so frequently? PICROSS E offered almost no innovation, it just did PICROSS cleanly and pleasantly, and it worked. Now PICROSS E2 offers a bit of something new, even if said new part is steeped in twangy harpsichord music, along with the same simple and clean interpretation of Nintendo's pet puzzle format. Does this mean we'll see another one of these in another month and a half? My wallet wants, no, needs to know.